Hey everybody, I'm just going to give a little review as well as a little tutorial on the threaded rivet insert tool here. The one I got is from Surebonder. It's a good little tool. I've used it a few times already in my car. Some of you that are following my build have seen those pictures. I do have also another video on it, but I thought I'd do a little more in-depth video on what's involved here. First of all, what you get in the kit. You get this. This is the actual tool. It's just like a rivet tool, but it's specific for the threaded inserts. You get all these little attachments here, which are 632, 832, 1024, 1032, and the 1/4 by 20, which is at the end here. These are all the inserts that you get with it. It does not come with the inserts, or the threaded nutsert rivet part. I don't know what you really want to call them. They're threaded inserts. Aluminum nut rivet. These I got off of Amazon. They were fairly cheap for $100 pieces. I got for about $5. I think, I can't remember the exact price, but they weren't too expensive. I remember them being relatively good in price. So this is what I've got. It's a little funky. I'm still trying to learn how to use it. A couple of issues that I had were the threads get a little bit messed up, and then I did some adjusting on it to not push down so hard on it, or kind of give it a limit, and it seemed to work a little better, but the problem is that the threads seem to be getting messed up, and I'm having to go in with a thread tap and clear out the threads. Not necessarily rethread it, but just getting the little burrs out of it, so that the screws will go in easy. Let me get set up here, and I'll do a little demonstration for you guys on how this works, or how I think it works. First, the things that we're going to need. Obviously, you need the tool here. You're going to need a drill. This is the tap. You don't necessarily need this. I've been using it just because of those issues. I may very well be doing something very wrong. I don't know. You're going to need some drill bits, depending on the size of the insert you're using. You need to figure out what kind of insert you need for the tool itself. These screws that I have are the 8/32. And so I'm going to be using that one, which is this here. The rest of them can kind of go away. Each one has its own collar on it, so they kind of need to stay together. I think I might tape these up, then that way I can label them and know that they're the same one every time. I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff set up here. See if I can't get you guys set up in a good position. The other thing you're going to need, obviously, is metal. This is going to simulate my car. It's just a piece of metal I've got laying around. It's just a real thin piece. You'll need a wood or whatever material you're going to use to screw down to the metal. It doesn't matter what it is, really. But I'm using wood. This is a 1/4 inch MDF. This is what I have laying around. Small enough to be able to use. So again, let me get set up in a way that I can do this hands-free and kind of give you a little demonstration on a couple of different ways that I did things. I'll be back. Okay, let's get this thing going. First thing you're going to do is you're going to, after you've decided which one you're going to use, again, I'm using the one to match my inserts here, is the 8/32, or however it is you pronounce that, 8 millimeters to 32 millimeters, I guess. I don't know. You're going to put this insert in. It screws in counterclockwise, so the opposite way you would screw in a screw. Screw it into here until it gets tight, and then you're going to need 2 hands. I don't know if you need to tighten it this tight. I do it because I had one come loose on me. I'm going to go ahead and set this down because I can't do this with one hand, but you have on here, you can see there a spot where you can put a crescent wrench. I'm going to go ahead and take the crescent wrench, and then you have to do from the other side because, see, this moves. It's all one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of cinch it down a little bit. Just a little. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go Hercules on it. But just a little bit so it stays in place. Probably could have been a little bit better prepared for this. So that's it. There's not much to it. Okay, so there's the one piece. Next you need your nose piece, so which will just slide on. Same thing, counterclockwise. This doesn't need to be cinched up at all. There you go. That's it. So that's the tool. And now when you get the tool, it comes, this adjustment is all the way back. Where these just line up straight just like this. That's the max, I believe. That's about it there. So that's the way it comes out of the package. And that's how I thought it was supposed to be. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of demonstrate with it that way once, and then demonstrate it with that adjustment pushed in, not allowing it to go all the way down, because I think that makes a difference on putting the insert in and how the threads are getting messed up and stuff like that. So we're gonna kind of I'm gonna go over it a little bit, and I'm happy to hear from you guys. If you guys think I'm doing something wrong, please by all means tell me, because I'm always happy to learn a new way to do things, and this is very new to me. So if I'm not doing it right, I'm happy to hear from whoever is has real good experience with this, so I know what I'm doing and know how to do it the correct way. So let's move forward. So we know we've got our nose piece on. Let's move that to the side. We need our metal that we're going to drill into, which would be, here's my simulated car. And what we're going to do is take this wood, which is, let's just say this is my floor. I just did my floor in the car. So let's just say this is the temporary floor for my base of my build here. The drill bit you're going to use, I always use a pilot bit. This is just a little teeny tiny bit. I mean, it's so small it doesn't even have it doesn't even have a measurement on it. So it's just something to kind of give you a pilot. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the drill, and we'll drill a pilot hole. We'll drill a couple of pilot holes and move on from there. So I'm going to go ahead and drill into my car here. And this is where I want my anchor points to be. We'll just say one here. Always drill through the wood and the metal. That's just the way I do it. You guys don't have to do it that way. And that's the other side. So now we have, the reason we do it this way, the reason I do it this way, is so that no matter what, Now our hole in our wood and the hole in the metal are in the same spot. So here you can see that. There's my pilot holes. Now the next thing we need to do is we have our inserts here. That's the bottom of the insert. That's what's going to go in the hole. Obviously, that is too small of a hole. So for this one, I chose this bit because it's just a little bit bigger than the insert. It's a 1/4 inch bit. You can see it's just a touch bigger than the insert. So that's what we're going to use for this, for the metal. Now for the wood, I chose this bit, which is a 13/64. Then I chose this for the screw. It's just a little bit bigger than the screw. It's going to give you a little bit of play, and it'll allow you to get things in, you know, easier because it's bigger than the screw is. Pretty self-explanatory stuff, I think. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and widen out my pilot holes so that I can get my inserts in. Make sure you tighten your chuck down all the way. I had this happen to me a lot yesterday. I'm about due for some new drill bits too. So there we go. We've got our bits done. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our threaded insert tool and our threaded insert, okay, and you're going to thread this onto here all the way back. Make sure this is all the way open, and you're going to thread it on here all the way back to the locking collar there. Doesn't have to be super tight again, okay, but it's on there. So remember, we're doing this two different ways. This is the way that is all the way, and you're going to hear a pop. So what you want to do is put this insert in the tool. You can see I already squeezed a little bit. Put the insert all the way in, squeeze it, and it popped. Now what we're going to do is unthread it. You're going to go counterclockwise, and what this does is you'll be able to see down here is as you turn it, it unthreads from the insert. Now I don't know if this is going to be visible or not, but you can see there's a burr there. There's actually a burr on the threads itself. I can't really get it off. Sometimes it'll unscrew. But this is the problem that I'm having. I'm not sure if it's visible. You can kind of see in there, there's a little bit of a burr issue in there. So this is the problem that I'm having. So I'm going to take this screw and try and screw it in here. And I ought to be able to do this with my hands, and I can't. That's it. That's as far as I could go with it. And I could try and screw it in like this, but it's tight. I mean, it's really tight. So I'm not going to risk it. What I'm going to do is what I've been doing is taking this tapping tool and not, as I said, not retapping them, so to speak, but getting it in the threads. And you can even see it's crooked. The insert's in crooked, so it's not me tapping it crooked. But you can almost see, I don't know if you can see the stuff falling out. That's what's going on, is because it's as the tap goes through it, it's pushing all those burrs out. And there it is. So there's all that. Now it's a clean hole. And I'll try and get this tap out of here. So there's that. Now this should, see, it goes in nice and easy now. So that's the first one. Next one I'm going to do, I know this video is getting long. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move this adjustment back quite a bit. Because what I want, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. I'm going to move it forward. Because what I want is to stop it before it gets to that popping point. This little nut collar here just kind of stops it from backing itself out. So you can see it's not, that's going to stop it from going all the way down. Is it going to pop still? I don't know. It might. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get this burr off of here. See how it just screws off. So that's what I'm getting, is that right there. It's not focusing well. There we go. That's what I'm getting off of each one. All of those threads are doing that. So let's go with another one, doing it the other way, and see what happens. Sorry, I'm kind of crooked there. So here we go with the second one. Same thing. Get the insert in, push it down. Now instead of it popping, that's my limit. I'm at the limit there. You can see it's all the way down. I cannot go anymore. So let's unscrew it and see if it's any different. I'm not sure if it's going to be. A couple of them were yesterday, but you can see there's no burrs on there, so that's a good thing. The hole looks relatively clean. That's a good thing. So let's take our screw and see what happens. I can screw it all the way in by hand. And you can see underneath it's a nice tight fit. So it's going to take some adjustment and figuring out exactly how to do it. But what you want is for it not to pop. I know that sounds like a relatively simple thing, but it's really not. So now I've got my rivets in, cleaned out. Let's move this. We'll change our drill bit to another one. This will go very simple. Drill out your pilot holes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our screws, and we've got our board positioned over the top. Our holes are lined up, you can see there. So we're just going to start it both sides just like you would a regular nut and screw, and then you just sink it down. And that's it. I mean, it's secured. It's together. And now you have the ability to screw in and unscrew a piece without worrying about messing up your hole like with a regular screw or a machine screw. where it has that auger at the end of it. This, you can screw it in and unscrew it 100,000 times, or as long as the threads don't get messed up. So that's it. That's my little review. My thought on this is two things. Number one, they don't put in the instructions. And of course, I've already put the instructions away. I did not read on the instructions anywhere, and this is really all that you get here. I did not read in the instructions anywhere to adjust that arm so that it doesn't pop. Again, I know, relatively simple term, but it makes sense. It does say, caution, threads will become damaged if set with too much force. But it doesn't say anywhere on here that adjustment needs to be done. It would be nice to put it on there, because otherwise you're just kind of shooting in the dark and trying to figure this thing out all by yourself, which, I mean, I guess most people could do, but some people just would never figure it out. Myself, I had to use this tap tool yesterday until it finally hit me that maybe I'm pulling too tight on it. I don't know. So maybe the aluminum are not bad. They're going to be fine. You saw on the second one here that I did not have any burrs. First one that I had the pop, it did. So I don't know. The only other thing that I would like to see an improvement on is those extra inserts that you get. It would be nice if they made maybe a I don't know, like a case for them, or if nothing else, just etch the size of them on each one, but they don't do that. So aside of that, I like the tool. It's going to make life a lot easier, and I'm excited to use it a lot more. So stay tuned for more from me. There will be plenty to come. There's still lots of work to be done and not a whole lot of time to do it in. Thanks for tuning in.